Caverns Area 1 is the location of the original Mars base. While all research has been moved to newer structures, this aging facility still serves as the primary material transfer point between Area 2 and Site 3. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Doom 3 walkthrough with commentary. We are closing in towards the end of the game, just a couple more levels to go, and the levels are going to primarily consist of traversing the ever-so-darkened caverns. And starting off, we're going to exit this lift, and immediately duck back in, because they're going to be spawning a bunch of spiders in this place. And as you may know, the best way to exploit spider AI is to stand in a location where they all have to take their sweet time reaching you. So, I'm going to abuse this as much as I want, and you cannot stop me. Take a little bit of time to reload now and then after I kill a small batch of them, and I'll finish that guy off with my pistol. Any other takers? Oh, you want some as well? Well, you're gonna have to die to get those armor shards, because they're mine! All mine! If only I could equip them all. We're actually just gonna duck down here and show off a little bit of secret compartment with some grenades and more armor in the event where you need it. However, I think I'm doing okay on armor. Like I said many times, time and again, it's just we never need armor in this game. We never need all this additional armor because we're just always full on it to begin with. Yeah, have you watched the cutscenes at all? You've noticed that my Marine is always readily equipped with armor. That's just a fact of life. It's never going to change. So, with that being said, I spy a BFG cell. And I mean, I can break this glass, I think, but I can't possibly squeeze through this really tiny window. So instead, we're gonna take the long way around. And in doing so, we'll actually spawn a couple of wraiths. In this level, they just kind of like to throw a little bit of everything at you. There's gonna be lots of wraiths, lots of impas, lots of chuckle demons, lots of hellbarons, a couple of archviles here and there, and plenty of those chain gun commando bastards. Now, there's an optional enemy spawn in this location. We could just continue on with the level if we really wanted to. However, if your kleptomania suggests that you desperately need this box of chain gun ammo, guess what? They're gonna spawn 4 wraiths, and they spawn all the way down there for some odd reason. So they have to constantly teleport in and out of the world just to reach you. And they don't even all spawn at the same time, I don't think. So it's really not worth just watching them run all the way up the stairs if you could just fire upon them from this little section right here. It's not a huge deal. Just take advantage of the fact that they do not have wings, and yeah, you should be good to go. So, let me pick up these rockets in this compartment and go grab that BFG cell. And behind you, guess what? They spawned enemies, and it is chainsaw time, I do declare. In fact, let's just keep using the chainsaw for a while. Hey buddy, how's it going? You mind if I just borrow your chain gun for a second? Thanks, pal. You're a true friend. And when I meet you in the afterlife, I'll be sure to thank you sincerely, and I'll buy you a box of chocolates for your troubles. Ow. Thank you for that. You know, it's so good that I lost 10 points of health. If only I had some sort of device that would allow me to regain all of my health points. Oh, you mean like this thing. However, I'm gonna put that away. It's a little too powerful. Chainsaws, on the other hand, no, chainsaws are fair play, because you have to get down and dirty with these enemies. Right in their faces, just as they like to get in your faces. Get out of here. No wraiths allowed. Said no wraiths allowed. Bam. Take that. Okay, so now we get to a point where there's going to be a little bit of a troublesome enemy spawn. The door has appeared to have locked behind you, however, it's just because we merely do not have the most adequate security clearance. As soon as you run in this little hallway right here, that will cause those couple of commandos to appear. And clearly, they had just better security clearance overall, because they're commandos, they're Hell's Legion, they have maximum security clearance. That is why all of the doors are constantly opening and closing without our consent, is because the demons actually run this place now. Get it? Because they've taken over. It's Doom. That's pretty much the story in the nutshell. The shell of the nut, that is the almond of doomness. Demonic almonds. Yes. Okay, so our intended destination is all the way down there. This level is actually pretty large. In terms of its actual length, I wouldn't really know how to judge. I guess we'll see once this video renders, we'll find out exactly how long it is. Ducking down here, there's a secret compartment with a Marine who's holding a chain gun. So if you want to steal it from him, if you're that much of a bastard, then you can certainly do that. However, I left that chain gun for him. I just took his spare ammo belt because I don't think he was really using it. Everyone needs to defend themselves one way or another, so I can respect the fact that he's prepared. So once you walk up this service elevator, or once you climb up the service elevator, I don't really know if you could exactly walk up an elevator without using your arms, but I'd be impressed if somebody managed to do that. Then we could reach this very difficult to read button that says Unlock Cargo Lift Controls. And upon doing so, that in turn opens all of the doors in this place. And it's good to explore this as well. Not because of those footsteps you can hear down below, but because you can pick up a BFG cell over here. And we can actually transfer ourselves down to the lower level and exit through that door over there. However, if you are so greedy to pick up this pack of rockets right here, that spawns a wave of spiders. So, you can pretty much use the plasma rifle or the machine gun. Get out of my face. This seems like a good time to maybe use the plasma rifle, because spiders getting in your face is never a good situation to be in, ever. Okay, let's just get rid of these guys. One at a time. Just keep spawning in one at a time, because I know that the engine can't possibly handle more than a couple of spiders on screen. Except for maybe the ticks, but we'll never see those guys again. Yeah, you remember those spiders that we saw that only appeared one time and they were incredibly squeaky? Yeah, guess what? We're never seeing them again. It's just another one of those instances where the developers really don't know what to do with all the extra enemies added to this game. Now, as soon as you call the cargo lift to the station, they're going to be spawning a Hell Knight over there. And a couple of imps as well, but thanks to the properties of the BFG, you can take two of those guys out at once and finish off the remaining cluster using your specialized rocket shooting device. With that, let me reload my big friggin' gun, watch that lift very slowly ascend back to the station platform. I have attempted to run down that shaft, because technically, it's something you can walk on, but the developers knew that they wouldn't want you to speedrun, so it constantly damages you for doing so. There's really no explanation for that, it's just, don't do it. We don't want you having fun. So, let's transfer ourselves to the lower caverns, say goodbye to the upper caverns, and just kind of enjoy the ride, really. It's a little bit of a trek, but you get a chance to experience more of Doom 3's special ambient sounds playing in the background as you descend into this rather ominous-looking territory. There's a volcano system all the way down here as well. It's pretty cool. I do like the presentation value of this entire level, I have to say. The caverns are probably one of the more difficult sections of the whole game. But it's also, in turn, just got a lot of nice looking stuff. It's got BFG ammo, it's got just about everything. And I'm currently exploiting an artificial intelligence right now. You can see that gunner way out there in the distance. He really wants to shoot me, but he just doesn't have the opportunity because we have a very tiny crack and an otherwise giant object separating us from seeing each other. However, using my pistol, I can choose to pot shot him as much as I please. Look at that. That's all the headshots it took to kill him. Not a huge amount of effort. Jumping down here is actually going to be probably one of the trickier parts of the level, because if you touch the lava, you're going to take gradual damage. And they also decide to spawn an archvile up on that little balcony over there as soon as you make a little bit of progress. And that archvile spawns Hell Knight, of all things. It gets a little bit tense, yeah, I have to say. However, one BFG shot takes care of both of those guys. And as soon as you make a little bit more progress, that's going to cause a couple of chuckle demons to appear. And by a couple, I mean one. I mean, I'm fairly certain I've had cases where it spawned multiple caco demons, but sometimes they only spawn one, and I really don't know what's up with that. In fact, I'm actually just gonna experiment right now. Let's use the classic method of damaging myself with a grenade, just to see if picking up any of the spare items just causes extra enemies to appear. Because otherwise, I would never be able to tell. Or maybe I'm just misremembering things because it has been a couple of days since I played the game. Because I've been busy doing stuffs, such as drawing. So, let's rise up this ladder and actually be a little bit careful because, namely, I would prefer not to fall off of ladders, but there's a wraith right over here. Yeah, walk into the explosive barrel. Thank you. And I think making a little bit of progress is going to cause additional wraiths to spawn. If I recall the situation correctly. Walk back there if you want that extra BFG cell. Oh, that's not a wraith. Okay, that is one gentleman that I quite obviously forgot about. Yay, I got hit by another crouching imp. Good job, me. You know this game well. That is why you're doing a walkthrough, of course. Did I take all those? I want those 2 health points. Okay, let's move on. Transfer ourselves to level 2. And get laughed at by Dr. Petruga because he's caused a spider to appear. Hey! No, 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 no. Get out of here. Okay. All of the evildoers have been cleansed by my chain gun bullets. However, I need security clearance. Fine. Let's go get that done. Walking out here will cause a couple of Caco demons to appear. So, just ready your ammo belt and take them both out in rapid succession. We're going to use the physics of the ladder climbing capabilities of Marine to constantly look at this ladder and shimmy around so that way we can exit right here and pick up a spare plasma rifle in case we need it. Ladder climbing physics are a little bit weird in Doom, but that's just the way it works. So just constantly stare at the ladder as you're moving around, and you should make it out just fine, being able to pick up that spare plasma rifle. And we can use it on this crouching imp, who I always remember now, right there. So, let's move on to this cavern, and we see another BFG cell. How much do I have? I have 12. Well, that BFG cell is going to have to wait, unfortunately. I know. It might be driving you insane as to how to figure out how to get to that particular location, but all will be revealed in due time. So, just exercise patience. We will be sure to pick up that BFG cell. For now, we have a very small parkour section that we need to deal with, and it involves these moving pieces of machinery. So, just take your time and study the pattern. As soon as this one starts moving, you want to start sprinting forwards towards the adjacent platform, and repeat this process a couple of times until you reach that large metallic fan, where you should try to avoid dropping down directly into the fan, but instead around it, so that way you can take this ladder straight through, and pick up this ammo stash back here. In order to leave this place, we just need to extend the service ladder, and the keycard that we require is back here, actually.
Who are you? What are you doing here? You're gonna attract attention and then they'll come. Get out of here now. Take that key card. It'll help you get to the surface.
Thank you, Jay Katayama. Do you have anything else to say for us?
I'm not going anywhere until I know all those things are dead.
Dude, I'm a walking human arsenal. I'm gonna make sure everything is dead, but if you want to stay here and hide, then it's fine by me. I mean, you've managed to survive this long compared to most other NPCs, and you don't even have a door to lock yourself behind, so I respect that man. And I also respect the fact that he gave us access to that keycard. So, let's move on back and proceed to open that door, and I can't really remember if there are any enemies that spawn as soon as we return to that location, so I'm just gonna ready my... Oh yeah, there's a bunch of enemies right here! We can use our BFG 9000! Woo! Get rid of all those foes. In fact, I think they should be spawning another small batch of them right now, so let's just use the BFG again! Eee! That's so much fun. Best weapon in the game. Love the BFG 9000. It's a shame that you don't get to use it too often, but I think the developers also realize that it's just simply too powerful under a lot of circumstances. You get a chance to use it now and then if you picked up the secret ones, I suppose, but... it's just, I don't know, it's one of those things where I'm like... Dude, even in the classic Doom days, you could probably still get a chance to use the BFG as often as possible when you were playing those games and you knew all of those secret locations. So it's just a shame that they don't manage to find many places for you to use the BFG 9000. Probably due to the fact that they just can't render as many enemies on screen without causing a couple of frame rate problems. Open the shutters! You can see, Doom 3 still has that pointless, interactable button scenario going on. But it's always nice to open some shutters now and then, just so we can get a general idea of where we're going. So, you know that little secret stash of BFG ammo? It's actually over here, and this wraith serves as an indicator as to where that little hatch opens up. So there you go. You can collect all of those special items, not the armor. Don't think I need that for the time being. Maybe I'll double back and pick it up in case I so desperately need it by losing health or armor to any of these imps crawling on the walls and the ceilings. No. Okay. So just be a little bit mindful once you traverse this area, because that will cause a wraith or two to appear behind you. But just keep spamming plasma shots in this direction, and all of them should die fairly quickly. There you go. We still have 450 cells. I think we'll be fine. Trust me, everything's A-okay. This section, however, does not get my approval in terms of OSHA regulations, because it's got a bunch of collapsing floor panels. And you want to sort of very slowly shimmy on the center of this bridge. If you walk in that direction over there, you'll avoid most of the collapsing floor panels because there's only room for a single floor panel in front of the other. However, this one is double-sided, and if you move forward in this direction, yep, spawns that guy. not a huge fan of that gentleman right there. Watch out for that collapsing floor panel. And over there are going to be a couple of enemies. You can see there's a crouching imp just standing behind those boxes, and I guess that sort of works. What I'm mostly concerned about are the chain gunners that appear behind him, and I think you can actually trigger them by running forward in this place. And I think there's one more floor panel that collapses. However, for some reason that chain gun commando tends to be hesitant on shooting you in the first place, so that was a crisis well avoided. So now let's take the other direction and spawn an imp. There we go. It took a little bit of time, but he eventually decided to appear. Back into the chasm you go, and now we may proceed on with the rest of the level. Watch out around that corner because there is a second crouching imp. However, we have a rocket launcher to get rid of those sneaky sons of bastards, and around that corner is going to be a couple chain gunners that actually take cover. So this area is made considerably less difficult because they don't know how to use their legs to move to newer locations apart from those boxes. Excellent! Thank you very much for being so considerate for my safety requirements and needs. Now, we enter this place. This place is huge. It's got barrels, it's got boxes, and most importantly, it has a couple of sneaky enemies, including an imp that's all the way back there. Let's snipe him with our scoped rocket launcher, without aiming down the sights because we don't need to, we're too manly for that. And I think as soon as you make a little bit of progress over here, that causes a couple chain gun commandos to spawn. This guy will shoot you right off the bat as soon as he spawns because chain gun commandos are capable of that. That guy, however, takes cover, and I appreciate that. Now, as soon as you press the button to recall the crane to the operating position, that will actually cause a huge flurry of cacodemons to appear. But fret not, they only appear 2 at a time. So, just use pretty much any weapon you have available to you. The chain gun also works pretty well. It's a good alternative in this situation. And I think there may be just 1 or 2 more that spawn at this point. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Chainsaw time! Ow! I just got caught into the gravitational pull of that Cacodemons melee attack. That was fantastic. I don't really know what's up with that, but always a good time to use the chainsaw now and then. Wouldn't you agree, lads? Okay, so now that we've recalled the crane, we get a chance to interact with the crane. The last time we ever interacted with crane was all the way back in, I think it was like level 2 of the game. So yeah, good to see they're using crane in action once again. This area, you can actually interact with the crane a little bit more. You can operate the crane by moving this little lift back and forth, or raising its position, or lowering it if you so desire. Okay, maybe not lowering it because of the winch error. In order to exit this place, we need to move to that platform over there. Now, you can try jumping towards the platform from over here, but I think it has a tendency to push you off. So the safer route is to climb onto the top of the crane and just sort of very carefully jump down. The only downside to this is that you will probably take a little bit of falling damage. However, if you jump towards that little lamppost and then proceed to walk all your way back down, you should be fairly safe. I think I'm actually going to use my soul cube right here. Just have a chance to use it once again because we don't get the opportunity to use the soul cube very often. And climbing into these large pipes, you can actually pick up a couple of extra items, including picking up some armor shards through the wall, because we actually need armor for once. And over there is a crouching imp! Hey, how's it going, buddy? You just gonna shoot a fireball at me and then leave? Okay, that's fine by me. Oh. Yep. Just gonna, get a sec. Okay, I got it. My pistol aim is still top-notch, ladies and gentlemen. Still top-notch. Don't worry, the level will be over soon. It's a little bit of a gauntlet, you could say. Just be careful around this place, because we want to pick up these rockets, but also avoid any potential bottomless pits. There's actually one way over there. So if you decide to jump in there, I'm so sorry for your loss of your life, because that was quite honestly not the greatest decision you could have made. Now, in order to access the next elevator, we need to hit a button. Simple as that, right? However, there is a trick to this room. All of the lights go out, but thankfully, the emergency lights are still functioning. Just to make this place nice and red, nice and tense. And in turn, that's going to spawn a little wave of enemies. Now, the first wave isn't so bad. It's really just wraiths and imps. However, it gets a little bit worse once they decide to send in a backup legion of chain gunners. 2 of them, as per usual, and they could shoot you from advantageous locations, of course. So I'm gonna spam a couple of rockets out there, get rid of at least one of them, and let the other guy just continue making his way forward. And there you go. So, now we have permission to call the lift. However, I would recommend you ready your BFG 9000 because as soon as the lift reaches its intended destination, there's actually going to be a rather nasty individual that's already boarded it. And he sort of appears right out of nowhere. I kind of would have liked it if he appeared already, but then he just kind of pops out of the floor. It's a Hell Knight, but we have a BFG 9000, so just charge it for a little bit of time, and you should be good to go. So now we may descend into the lower regions of the caverns, still going lower, still going deeper into the system of Mars. We can figure out this mystery of where all of these extra enemies are appearing from, because we closed off the original Hell Portal, but as you may remember, Counselor Swan was identifying that there was a second Hell Portal in this place. So, it is our task to get rid of that Hell Portal. In this area, there's a whole bunch of explosive barrels, and this also gives us a nice opportunity to do a little bit of that special box parkour to avoid any intruders that may be interfering with our plans. So, jump over to those boxes to cause this archvile to appear. Boom! 2 rockets will take care of him just fine. And then, proceed to eliminate any of the resisting scum that may have been spawned by that healer. However, I think we're pretty good, so just watch around this corner because I think there's going to be a Wraith, and around this corner is going to be an Imp. But the grenades still prove to be useful, being lobbed around corners and just bouncing around all over the place until they find a target. Now, this place can get a little bit spooky because there's going to be a sniper all the way out there. A Russian sniper to be precise, because he has a chain gun. So, just snipe a couple of rockets in his direction. I'm gonna have to watch that footage back because I'm fairly certain that Cacodemon was actually turning around to shoot at the chain gunner over there. And then, it's just going to be a couple of Cacodemons appearing from the heavens above. Or the hells above, whichever one makes more sense to you. But once you get rid of those guys, just cross this area, try not to fall into the lava pits. And I think we should be closing towards the end of this particular section of the caverns. Yeah, here we go. Here's the exit lift, including a BFG ammo refill, and a couple of little ammo boxes here and there. So let's transfer ourselves to the second sector of the caverns.